when your child is the only one not eating what everybody else is eating. I'll be honest, this video has not been an easy one for me to make. There are often times that I don't like to look back and see that my daughter and even me have been left out because of celiac disease. Today, I want to talk to you about ways that we have learned to cope and also to overcome and become more confident with how we deal with our celiac diagnosis. One of the hardest things I've had to accept is that no matter how much I plan, no matter how much I prep, I'm going to have moments where my child feels left out. There may be a birthday party and everyone has a vanilla cupcake, but my child has a completely different looking cupcake than everybody else. Technically, my child was included, but that doesn't mean that she felt included. In the beginning, I thought I was doing a great job as a parent. I would take a Ziploc bag full of treats to the school for the teacher to keep in a drawer for my daughter. And when a celebration or a party or birthday would happen, my daughter would ask for a treat. I'll be honest, there are times that she didn't want to speak up and ask the substitute teacher for one of those treats. And so sometimes she would feel left out, or she would get a treat from the teacher and still feel left out because maybe she got Skittles instead of a cupcake like everybody else got. Now, looking back and talking to my young adult daughter today, she has mentioned that she appreciated those talks that we had. It was a challenge for both her and I, but especially her because she needed to know that this was a new way of living and it was something that she had to adapt to. Something that I think is important to do, no matter the age of your child, but especially when they're younger, is naming what they are thinking or feeling, asking them some key questions, and then validating their feelings and then making a plan for how you're going to deal with this in the future because it will happen again. Sometimes it means just asking that simple question when they're younger. How did that make you feel? Or what did you experience when you guys had the birthday today or that special ceremony? And then once you find out how they felt, validating that. I'm sorry that you felt left out, or it is really hard to feel left out or isolated. You can also ask them, what do you think will make this easier next time? Maybe they can come up with a couple of ideas or you can, but give them a chance to think and see what ideas they have. You might often be surprised as to what their answers are. As your child gets older, maybe into the junior high and high school stages, you're going to have this need to want to maybe jump in. That's the way I felt, to fix everything and make it better. But take some time, breathe, talk to your child. Remember, name it first. Ask them how they're feeling. Then validate how they're feeling. And then see if they can come up with an idea as to what could change in the future to help next time. Maybe you can help brainstorm ideas, but the goal is to let your child, if they've had this celiac diagnosis for a while, come up with some clever ideas for what would help them to feel better next time a situation like this arises. Things don't just happen at school, they happen outside of school. So we would have play dates at times that we would be invited to. I strategically would plan and in the beginning kind of fumbled through, but figured out which play dates would be the best for us. Often parks or going over to someone's house was always a great idea because we could bring our own food. If people wanted to go to a play place or go out to eat, I would often have to do a little research ahead of time to be sure that this was a safe place that my child could eat at. Sometimes we would have to opt out of the ones that just weren't a good fit for us. I'm curious about your family. What has been the most difficult situations? Has it been family gatherings, play dates, school, holidays? Comment it down below. I would love for all of us parents to get together and help encourage each other with the challenges that we are facing. I realized pretty early on that I was not going to be by my daughter's side all the time. And I wanted to equip her to be able to handle situations when she was on her own, maybe at school or at a friend's house. Depending on your child's age, you can help equip them with small things that they could say, as in, no, thank you, or I brought my own food. Maybe they have a trusted adult that you've told them they can go to, and they can say, let me check with so and so to see if this is safe to eat. My daughter was pretty young. She was between the ages of 8 and 9 years old when she started speaking up for herself and letting people know when I wasn't by her side and even when I was around, that she didn't want to eat something that somebody was offering her, or she was unsure of what they were giving her. So she would often say, no, thank you, or let me check with mom, or I brought my own food. I encourage you to equip your kids and let them know that it will get easier, but you're doing it out of safety for them and their health so that they don't get sick later. As your kids become teenagers, your role will change as the adult. Help equip your child to know what to say when they go out with friends. Asking ahead of time, hey, where do we plan on going out to eat? Or will we be eating out? Maybe packing some different snacks or things on their own so they aren't without food if they're going to places that maybe don't have gluten-friendly options. And then also knowing what questions to ask when you go out to eat so that they know they are getting food that is likely safe for them. I'm going to be covering some of these things in another video. Let me know which one you want to hear more about. Getting prepped for going out to eat at restaurants or what snacks to have on the go. There were times I often reminded my daughter to keep her eyes open. There are other children or people who felt isolated or alone and not included because maybe they have a food allergy. Yes, you have celiac disease, but there are others who have a peanut allergy or a dairy allergy or a soy allergy. Look for people who may not be able to eat what everybody else is eating and feel included with them, knowing that you are not alone. I do remember one time near the end of the school year, they were getting ready to have a end of the year school party, and my daughter's teacher asked, what can she eat that the other kids could eat, that she could supply? The teacher actually wanted to buy something, and I can't remember if it was pretzels or some special cookies that she was able to buy, but I told her the brand and where she could get it. She purchased it with her own money, and the other kids had their stuff, but there was at least two items that my daughter knew she could partake in along with everybody else in the class, and it made her feel so special knowing that she was included, but also remembered by the teacher, and that she went out of her way to do this for her. Now, if school is one of those places that you've been worried about because you're not sure how to talk to them or who to talk to, I actually have a resource down in the description that you will definitely want to download. It is free to you so that you can have a checklist to help know who to talk to, what systems to put into place, especially if your child gets sick, so that there are a list of protocols that you have to help your child feel confident and you as a parent know that your child is safe at school. So be sure to download your free copy down in the description. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the thing that took me the longest to understand with celiac disease, how to read food labels, what does certified gluten-free mean versus just regular gluten-free things that were labeled gluten-free. What are the hidden contaminants in food and what do you know is safe? So be sure to check out that video so that you know how to go grocery shopping and keep your child safe. And remember, no parent should have to do this alone. I'll see you in the next video.